Yo, what up, YouTube? It's your boy Gmo coming to you from the office today, coming to you on my lunch break. So I'm trying this out, seeing how this goes, seeing if I like doing it on my lunch break, so on and so forth. So let's jump into it. Today, I'm going to be talking about, as you may have guessed it, I'm going to be talking about how failure is not final. This is a big one in general. If you take the entire concept and failure is not final seriously. I wanted to first start off by apologizing to my viewers. To be completely honest and open with you guys, I did something that I didn't want to do. And what I mean by that is today when I checked YouTube right before I left for work, I was looking at YouTube. I was looking, seeing, how many subscribers I had, how many views I had on each video. And I don't want to be doing that. I don't want to be focusing on how many views I get per video. I don't want to be looking at how many people have seen what I'm doing, because to me, yeah, it'd be nice. Yeah, it'd be nice to have the hundreds of thousands of people viewing this stuff, but that's not what it's about. And that's why I'm apologizing to you guys, because I wasn't staying true to what I'm really doing here with these video blogs. And so, again, I apologize. Thank you for accepting my apology. But the second thing I wanted to talk about is failure, obviously. And that being said, I had a decent-sized failure this morning, and what happened is the past roughly week or so, I've been getting up at 5 a.m. I've been rising early, grinding early, and in essence, it's to get my mind clear. It's to have mental clarity. Big thing I'll talk about a lot of times, but in terms of mental clarity, there is a couple of different things that many different people recommend doing first thing in the morning. And what I do and what I am working on and what I am continuously doing is waking up at 5 a.m., taking Wrigley out, taking her out for her morning bathroom break and then her morning walk, and then coming back in, giving her her bone, and then focusing on me. It is about 3 questions that I ask myself every morning, and I write down the questions and I write down the answers to the questions every single morning for the past week, and I'm trying to do it every single morning from here on out. And by try, the only reason I say try is because this morning that was not the case. But to backtrack a bit, those 3 questions for me are, the first one is, what am I grateful for? The second one is, what am I excited about? And the third one is, what am I going to do today that is going to make me better tomorrow? And with those 3 things, along the way through this journey, I'm sure I'm going to have more questions that come up that I think are good. So, I don't know, call it a month from now, I might be asking myself 5 questions a day. But as of right now, those 3 things are pretty big for me to have mental clarity to start out my day. And today I decided that I was going to get an extra hour of sleep and sleep in until 6 and not have my mental clarity going into the workday. Boy, was that a bad idea. It's funny how, some people call it karma. I just chalk it up to me being an idiot. But first of all, I didn't even get a good hour of sleep. Wrigley's now used to getting up at 5 a.m., so she was nudging me all night, because last night was the first time ever, but she slept in our bed. So she was nudging me the entire hour from 5 a.m. to 6 a.m., so I didn't even get a good hour of sleep, 1. But 2, I didn't have the mental clarity going into my day. At about 10:30 this morning, I felt something was wrong. I just felt something was off. If you've ever experienced something like this, you kind of know what I'm talking about. But if you don't, there's not really a good way to describe it. So I'm trying my best, I promise. But in essence, I just felt off. I felt off to the point where I called my parents, I called my sisters, I called my girlfriend, and I asked all of them if they're okay, because something felt so off that I thought that one of those people had gotten hurt, one of the closest people I have around me, they had gotten hurt, and ESP was telling me that there's something going on with them, and you got to check in with them. That's how off I felt. It's a really, really weird feeling. And looking back on it, I'm glad I had that feeling, because that's going to drive me to never do this again. I'm never going to skip getting up at 5 a.m. I'm never going to skip having to do those 3 questions and asking myself honestly those 3 questions every morning and answering them honestly to give myself mental clarity going into my day, whatever the day may hold. If it's a weekend, so be it. If it's a work day, so be it. But I need to have mental clarity because of how I can go about my day, how I can assess my goals and how I want to react to them, how I want to become the number 1 salesman, and how I'm going to do that. In order for me to do all of these different things in my life, I need to have mental clarity no matter what it is I'm trying to do. And to not do that this morning, it was a really, really big eye-opening experience that I felt like that almost instantaneously after not doing that this morning. And so I apologize to myself. And the big thing with failure is, again, it's never final. But the big thing with failure is you need to learn from your mistakes. Everyone's going to make a mistake. Everyone's going to fail at some point in their life. Not every single person in the world, no one actually in the world, is going to be perfect 24/7, all day, every day, never. There's not a single person in the world that is absolutely perfect. There are people that are much better about preventing failure before it actually happens, but people fail. It's a common fact. It's common knowledge. It happens, but it's about how you assess that failure. I could have slept in this morning, gotten a great hour of sleep, and been like, well, screw this. Like, I want to sleep until 6 from here on out. And, I don't have to worry about this mental clarity thing I'm trying to do and get the extra hour of sleep because it's going to benefit me more. But I sat back, I assessed what I failed at, and I hit that nail on the head. I am putting that behind me. I know what I need to do, and thankfully I was able to experience that. Thankfully I'm able to grow from that, and I'm keeping myself honest. I now have an alarm right at 5 a.m. that is myself yelling, get up, rise and grind, so on and so forth. But, there's different things that I'm doing, but I'm glad that I had this experience of not having mental clarity going into my day, because when you do finally find the mental clarity to start your day, there's no other way you'd rather start your day, and that's a fact. But yeah, so I guess video over. I don't know. I kind of just hit like an ending point right there. But yeah, so just remember that failure is never final unless you're the one that says it's final. Failure can be the end of whatever task it is you're doing if you let it. If you let failure take over your life, take over your task, take over your mindset, it will be the end of what you know and what you're doing. So don't let failure determine where you're going. Don't let failure determine what you're doing and if you're going to give up or not. Push through that failure, learn from your failures, and become that much better. So other than that, that's all I got to say for this video blog. Gmo out. You guys have a good night.